What is a lion without his pride? What is a whale without his pod? What is a monkey without his troop? What is a wolf without his pack? The answer is very simple. They are the same thing that a human being is without a tribe. Pray.
Peace, family. Yo, thank you for joining us. Right? And I'm thrilled to announce the fact that we are now releasing our first free e-course. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame journey, see some of the stuff we do. Come and join the tribe. Tribe up with us and check out the free e-course. And we'll make sure that the URL pop up right about here. And it'll probably be somewhere in here. Check us out, family, because we are building. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame journey, and let's build together.
So today we're going to be talking about some of that gut bacteria, some of the diseases that are related to the gut that we at G&J or Gye-Nyame Journey is going to try to help eliminate in our community and the world. I mean, it's very possible. It's related to the gut. We got something that can help the gut called that ambrosia. And why not try to just go and knock it out, right? So I will see you at the show. Peace. Of course, you know I'm using that body butter. Always putting in advertisement for that family out there that's trying to do what they supposed to be doing. Conquering that ash business. See you in a minute. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Bring them out, bring them out. Alright, family, we are gathered here today to toast up our ancestors, to let them know that we're thinking about them, to send them energy, and to have them send us energy. We're transforming, we're transferring energy, right? So we give them some, they give us some, right? I don't never want it to be true that my ancestors couldn't help me because I wasn't focused on them, right? I want to make it possible for my ancestors to help me. So for us to start, in order for us to be able to toast our ancestors and take care of our ancestors, we have to be healthy. So go and grab a glass of water with me, family. Come on, grab 4 glasses of water with me. Come on, drink up. That's one down. $16 ounces gone, fam. All right, come on now. Y'all can hang in there. Come on, hang in there. Now those that's gonna join me later on YouTube, we're gonna be talking about gut health, gut bacteria, and the health and disease related to gut health. Now the yesterday we talked about fascia. Today we're talking about the gut. Now both of these are in a sense new sciences, right? At least in the West, they're new sciences. Fascia for a long time, they just thought it was a packing material and it was a waste. But then they go and find out that it has just as many nerve endings, able to process as much information as your eye. You know what I'm saying? This waste material, the white meat that people threaten to bust you to, right? There's a lot of information about the fascia that y'all really have to start. We really have to start researching. And I'm throwing this stuff out because, family, we are our university. This is all universities do. This is all colleges do. They find different areas and they research the areas. They experiment with the areas. And I know some of y'all got the expertise out there to be experimenting with some of this stuff, right? So I'm throwing some stuff out there, like maybe I might catch some of y'all interest, or you might catch some of your children's interest. But we need people looking at these things, right? I'm doing research because it's been revealed that there is another organ in your belly area. Yes. And then yesterday I found out that fascia is an organ, just like the skin is an organ, and it's more fascia than you got skin. So fascia is actually the largest organ you got. And you might be neglecting it. Go on, drink up that water. Man. Last one, fam. $16.9 plus 16.9 equals 33.8. So that's 33.8 ounces of water to start the day, get the energy flowing. I ain't even do my movement yet. Now, so I told y'all about the 5, 6, 7, right? Right? Check it out. Now, check it out. Check it out. Brother Hatim ain't playing. The 5, 6, 7, right? Hold on. So I'll make sure I get it right. So I added a 4 to that, right? So we got 4, 5, 6, and 7, right? Check it out. The 4 needs: right breathing, right water, right food, right movement, right? 5 parts, you already know. Intuition, mental, 5 parts of our being: intuition, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, right? 6, the 6 emotions, right? The 6 motions, right? Peace, power, joy, mad, sad, scared. 7 principles. Moja Kuda Shakali Ujima Jamani Akuma Namani. I'm not playing, family. I'm not playing, right? Because we got to put them in ways where we can understand. We got to put them in ways where it's simple so that we can always plug into them. It don't have to be all complicated, right? All right. So today we sipping on that grape, and this say my grape because you know this is mature, and you see it's not going fast because it's no longer sweet. And you know my family like the sweet. You know my wife complained about us liking sugar, but she sure like the sweet drink, right? So what we have here is a very, very healthy drink. Close to wine, but not quite. This is the grape. Alright, so now, first giving honor to the Creator by whatever name you choose to call it Creator. We call on that infinite source. We call on that power that's within all of us and surrounds all of us, all at the same time. We call on that power. We ask it to bless and guide us. We ask it to lift us up. We also lift it up, right? We got a partnership here, right? So we call on that power. We call on it, and we toast it, and we say, Ashe. From there, we move to our personal ancestors. Wow. Move to our personal ancestors. I'm hearing that there's some bad news in the family. Well, not necessarily. But there's been a transition, so we're going to salute that. But last night I had a dream about one of my ancestors, Tony Clark. You know what I'm saying? I had a dream he was alive, right? And I had got some air in his news. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm going to toast. Elder Tony Clark, my martial arts teacher, who helped me become a man. I'm going to toast him and celebrate him. We're going to toast the ancestors, and I'm going to start with my family line. If you have any people you want me to call, feel free to post them up, right? But I'm calling on Miles Brown, Miss Ann, Robin, Tex, Anna Davis, Herman Brown, Senior, Rose D. Tilly, Georgia Whitney Walter, Chris Johnny Gatson, Alina, Uncle Chris, Geneva Brown, Elvira Brown, Cleveland Brown, my Aunt Gina, Elder Harrison, Elder Farmer, Elder Donaldson, Normal X, Sapat Ma Ra, Jamon Jones, John Fallard, Dr. Marianne Williams, Jeremiah Tappan, Montague Pittman L, all those I called, and all those I couldn't remember. It was an era of the mind and not of the heart. We call on all those ancestors, all of our personal ancestors. We lift them up, right? We lift them up. We toast them and we say Ashe. We toast this moment. We toast Ujamaa family, right? Ujamaa. Cooperative economics. The proper flow of resources. Man, and it's so appropriate that we talk about gut health today, because when you start finding out all of the diseases that are possibly connected with your gut, possibly, it's correlation, it's not, it's not causation yet. We haven't got to the point where we've been able to prove it. But there's a lot of correlations between what goes on in the gut and what goes on with the rest of your health. And we're going to talk about those resources, right? You harnessing those resources to give the gut what it needs, right? Here's one of them. So we toast this moment and we say Ashe. Last but not least, we toast our children, our children's children on to infinity, because we are responsible for at least 7 generations, fam. So we got to make sure at least 7 generations is doing well. So we toast them in advance so they could toast us in the future. Last but not least, and I said that already, but I apologize, I toast you, family. I toast all of you that take the time to join us, right? I toast all of you, and I lift you up. And I ask that our ancestors go out in front of you and make the rough road smooth, but not totally remove your obstacles, because without some struggle, we become weak. You know what I'm saying? Without some struggle, we become weak. All right. So I'm gonna toast up. I'm drinking. Damn, that tastes like wine. All right, family. Yesterday I was describing a relationship, and I had to go back. We got a Jobian relationship with America. It's sort of like, and I know you're like, where you coming from with all this shit, brother Hot Tim? Listen, man, I can't do nothing but think about our situation, man. I mean, I was raised like that, right? My elders trained me like that. I was prepared for this, right? You know what I'm saying? I was prepared for this. I spent my 20s and my 30s being trained for this, right? My 20s and my 30s, my 40s, I was being trained for this, man, right? And I can't help but to think about our relationship. And we have a Jobian relationship. What I mean, you got the story of Job, right? Where Job got this mean being who just throws him out, basically. I mean, I know a lot of y'all get mad about that shit, you know. But basically, Job was pimped out to see if he was faithful or not. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the way you find out somebody faithful is you put them through hell, right? Man, you know what I'm saying? That's a messed up situation, right? But so we got a Jobian relationship with America, and it's like we do everything. We stay loyal. We do, and they throw every motherfucking thing on us that they can, man. Right? But hey, like I said, it's time for us to start changing the stories that we relate to. Right? Now, here's a story for y'all. I'm about to cuss. And I ain't even gonna say I'm cutting down. But here's a story, right? I'm thinking of writing a story called The African Gods. And the first one will be Resurrection. Right? Now, being a divine being, right, and having your ambrosia means that you could live a long time. So you get bored, right? But one of the things that I'm noticing that a lot of these deities used to do, they used to gamble amongst themselves. You understand that? So, in African gods, the whole concept of the story is that the African gods make a wager with the younger gods. When I say younger gods, those of you that are historians know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? Yahweh, Allah, you know what I'm saying? Make a wager that they cannot take away African people from African gods. And they just fade into the background. They gamble with them, right? Now, the whole bet goes on until this time, the Trojan War gambling series. They gamble, man. Those beings, they gamble the whole thing. So our create. I ain't gonna say our creators. The African gods gamble with the younger gods that they cannot take away the people and give them a certain amount of time. Now they come back and they're reawakening, showing that you can't take a people away from their creative stories, from their deities. You can't take a people away. Why? Because those deities are wrapped up in the environment of those people. When you take a people and you remove them out their environment, they start becoming sick. They start going crazy, right? As you can see. As you can plainly see. I'm just thinking about the story right now. Somebody else could take the story and write it or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, the whole piece is, I'm trying to get us to refocus on the stories that we tell ourselves, so that we can start living better, right? We tell ourselves stories of poverty and stories of struggle and shit. Now we need to tell ourselves stories of victory. We need to change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? Because we getting our ass kicked with these narratives. And all of them always end up with us being more righteous than everybody else. And I'm kind of sick of the righteous train. I'm kind of sick of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like we the only ones that forgive. Ain't nobody else forgiving. You know what I'm saying? They ain't forgive the Alamo. You know what I'm saying? They don't forgive shit. We forgive everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like one of the things that I'm also noticing about the deities, especially African, want a lot of forgiveness, want a lot of grace. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. You know what I'm saying? We give everybody this massive amount of grace, this massive amount of room, and they could just stomp on us. They be stomping on us, being disrespectful. I mean, I can't stand. I mean, you know, I understand, but I just can't stand blatant disrespect. You know what I'm saying? You got a people that's been fighting for you, building for you. You know what I'm saying? Taking care of you. And you just kick a motherfucker when he down. How's that okay? Where is that all right at? Where they do that at? That's what I love. I love what my daughters used to say. Where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? Where do they accept that at? Other than us. You know what I'm saying? Every other people that went to war about this. Look at the situations we've been in. And then even when we try to do for ourselves, and we off to ourselves, they don't feel comfortable, so they want to send people in. When we send them back, they come and try to take it. And you know what? I want to shut my mouth. Listen, family. Listen. Let's go and talk about this gut bacteria. Because all this got to relate with our gut bacteria. Because check this out. Not all of us, my brother. I love Kwame. Listen. And I know y'all like, brother, this has absolutely nothing to do with gut health. But this has everything to do with gut health. Because when you start affecting the flora within your gut, you're operating outside of your culture. We all have culture, right? Part of that culture is the environment that we in. Part of what sets up the culture, part of what sets up the myths for people is the environment. When you remove a people from the environment, they become sick. Why? Because you have removed them from the thing that helped form and shape them. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, Facebook, I want to thank y'all for taking the time and checking me out. I'm sipping on detox formula now. And I will see y'all in the morning. And until then, have a great Ujamaa. Alright, YouTube. Here's the break I've been promising you. Alright fam, here we go. This is from gastroenterology and hepatology, the independent peer-reviewed journal, Gut Bacteria in Health and Disease. Alright, so I'm going to read the abstract. Maybe I don't need to read the abstract. This is kind of long, so bear with me. Due largely to rapidly evolving event. I'm not going to read the abstract. Due largely to Well, we're going to read the abstract. And we're going to jump. A new era in medical science has dawned with the realization of the critical role of the forgotten organ. Another organ, the gut microbiota, or biota, in health and disease. Central to the beneficial interaction between the microbiota and host is the manner in which bacteria and most likely other microorganisms contained within the gut communicate with the host immune system and participate in a variety of metabolic processes of mutual benefit to the host and the microbe. The advent of high throughput methodologies and the elaboration of sophisticated analytic systems have facilitated the detailed description of the composition of the microbial health and various disease states. Although the latter approach is still in its infancy, some important insights have already been gained about how the microbiota might influence a number of disease processes both within and the distant from the gut. These discoveries also lay the groundwork for the development of therapeutic strategies that might modify the microbiota through the use of probiotics. Although this area holds much promise, more high-quality trials of probiotics, prebiotics, and other microbiota modifying approaches in digestive disorders are needed, as well as laboratory investigations of their mechanism of actions. Now, family, we got a laboratory called our kitchens, where we can do experiments with this stuff, right? Probiotics, prebiotics, fancy words for fermented foods, right? Fermented foods, well, my fault, fermented and fresh foods. Let's get it that way, right? Now, a lot of our, we always use words talking about gut, how we feel in our gut and stuff like this. But now, science is starting to connect the gut with a true feeling, right? Your gut really can tell how healthy you are. And a lot of diseases are being connected to the gut. And when I get to the diseases, you are going to be surprised. This is why I'm saying that the goal of G&J's, that ambrosia, is to eliminate all diseases related to the gut in our tribe. And it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, right? Because we got the mechanism. All we need is the research. That's it. All we need is the experts. You know what I'm saying? All we need to, because I know some of y'all got kids out there that's interested in chemistry, right? I know it. That's interested in biology, right? All we got to do is get these young people focused, and they will be able to prove or disprove this information we get. Now, wouldn't it be incredible if you could just cure a lot of the ailments that people have just by them having probiotics, just by them eating a diet that is ancestral based? All right. Due largely to rapidly evolving advances in analytical techniques in microbiology, molecular biology, and bioinformatics. That's a new word, bioinformatics. That's another field. The true diversity of microorganisms that inhabit the gastrointestinal tract of humans, collectively referred to as the human gut microbiota, is being revealed, and its contribution to homeostasis in health and to pathogenesis, that's the path of disease appreciated. As a consequence, the study of gut ecology has emerged as one of the most active and exciting fields in biology and medicine. It is in this context that the maneuvers to alter or modify the microbiota, either through dietary modifications or the administration of antibiotics, probiotics, or prebiotics, must now be viewed. The normal gut microbiota, an essential factor in health. Let's read that. The term microbiota is to be preferred to the older term flora, as the later fails to account for the many non-bacterial elements, archaea, viruses, and fungi, that are now known to be normal inhabitants of the gut. Given the relatively greater understanding that currently exists of the role of bacteria in comparison with the other constituents of the microbiota in their health and disease, gut bacteria will be the primary focus of this review. Within the human gastrointestinal microbiota exists a complex ecosystem. Like, for those that don't know, that's like when you go out in the woods and you got all the animals living together and you got all the plants working together, even the plants that are dying, are in some way fueling the whole piece. That is ecosystem, right? In your gut, there is an ecosystem. An ecosystem of approximately, 300 to 500 bacterial species comprising nearly 2 million genes. Indeed, the number of bacteria within the gut is approximately 10 times that of all the cells in the human body. And the collective bacterial genome is vastly greater than the human genome. Family, I hate to break it to you, but you got more bacteria DNA in you than you have human. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that you a bacteria. I know it. You feel that you above all that. It's sort of like when people say that you an animal, you get upset. But the fact of the matter is, you got to accept your place, right? As my elder told me, we are no higher than a blade of grass and no lower than its roots, family. Right? By us trying to put ourselves in a special place, we remove ourselves out of nature and think that we could do whatever we want to do. And that's killing us. That's killing us. We're disrespecting what we come from. We come from the earth. We're disrespecting it. So how the hell you know what I'm saying? We're disrespecting it. We're disrespecting our home. We're disrespecting who we are. We're disrespecting the core of our culture. In all cultures, the earth played a major role, except in this culture, other than for us to take from her and to destroy her and to pollute her. And we're doing the same thing. What we're doing to her, we're doing to our microbiome. We're doing to ourselves because we removed ourselves. We got these false myths that tell us that we're something different, when in fact we are part of the earth. This is why I like traditional. This is why I like traditional spiritual beliefs, because they connect you to nature. They're not trying to extract you. They don't strive to make you feel so special that you feel you go out here and just pollute. You know what I'm saying? Human beings are the only beings on this planet that believe we could shit and eat in the same place. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not, you goddamn bacterians. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bacteria and viruses and shit running around this motherfucker not knowing what we are, not knowing what we connected to, not knowing our real story, causing all types of havoc. Killing my babies. You know what I'm saying? Killing my babies. We killing our babies. At birth, the entire intestinal tract is sterile. Now listen to this, because a lot of y'all having those C-sections because you want to look good, you know. And a lot of you not breastfeeding because you don't want your breasts all out of shape. And then you wonder why your children running around here insane. At birth, the entire intestinal tract is sterile. The infant gut is first colonized by maternal and environmental bacteria during birth and continues to be populated through feeding and other contacts. Factors known to influence colonization include gestational age, mode of delivery, vaginal birth versus assisted delivery, diet, breast milk versus formula, level of sanitation, and exposure to antibiotics. The intestinal microbiota of newborns is characterized by low diversity and a relative dominance of the phyla Proteobacteria and Actinobacteria. Thereafter, the microbiota becomes more diverse with the emergence of the dominance of firmicutes and bacteroidetes, which characterizes the adult microbiota. By the end of the first year of life, the microbiome profile is distinct for each infant by the age of 2.5 years. The microbiota fully resembles the microbiota of an adult in terms of composition. This period of maturation of the microbiota may be critical. There is an accumulating evidence, listen, from a number of sources that disruption of the microbiota in early infancy may be a critical determinant of disease expression in later life. It follows that the intervention directed at the microbiota later in life may quite literally be too late and potentially doomed to failure. Now, by us doing a lot of this shit we're doing, by us not breastfeeding the babies, and I know y'all like, but I tell you what you mean us? It ain't us, it's me, the woman. Listen, family, by us not having vaginal births, by us not exposing the child to the microbiota of the mother through the breast milk, right? We are setting up our children for health defects later in their life. That's what that ain't me. That's not me. That's what it's saying right here. I'm just breaking it down for you, right? Let's keep it going. Regulation of the microbiome. We ain't even getting to the diseases yet. Because of the normal motility of the intestines and the microbiome effect of gastric acid, bile, and pancreatic and intestinal secretions, the stomach and proximal small intestines, although certainly not sterile, contain relatively small numbers of bacteria in healthy subjects. Interestingly, commensal organisms with probiotic properties have recently been isolated from the human stomach. The microbiology of the terminal ileum represents a transition zone between the Gye-Nyame, containing predominantly aerobic species. This is species that in a sense exist by breathing air like us. They breathe, right? They need air. And the dense population of anaerobes found in the colony. Bacterial colony counts may be as high as 10 to the 9th colony forming units in the terminal ileum immediately proximal to the ileocecal valve, with a predominance of gram-negative organisms and anaerobes. On crossing into the colon, the bacterial concentration and variety of enteric flora change dramatically. Concentrations of 10 to the 12th or greater may be found and are comprised mainly of anaerobes such as bacteroides, Porphyromonas, and bifidobacterium, lactobacillus, and Clostridium. With anaerobic, now they do things without air. Like for example, when I have a lot of surface space, the ambrosia is able to be aerobic, It's able to exchange air. It's able to breathe. So when I release, air come out, air go back in. It's able to breathe. But when you see with the little top on it, the breather, hold on. How did that get there? Minor. Now, when I put this on, this causes an anaerobic process to take place, because now the process is happening where it's just able to release gas, but nothing else is coming back in, right? So this is the process. This is part of, for us, this is part of the second brewing, right? Where we are allowing the microorganisms in here to produce the gas and release the gas, but we're not allowing any more air back into it. Now, if we wanted to go to vinegar faster, what we could do is we could promote the aerobic process. You see, I took off the top, but this wouldn't be a good one. Well, actually, because I got a lot of surface space, it would be good, because the bottle up here would slow down the process. But because I got all this open space right now and I got a lot of surface area, I could have this turn to vinegar real quick like that. But it would be better if I just had a big, like a bucket, and put a top over it to allow the aerobic process to really run, which will take it to the next level, which will be basically vinegar real quick, right? But we prefer it nice and slow, right, with this. So, you know, now they're using a lot of big words, so we want to, but they get into a lot of science, but this is the type of stuff, and I'm reading this to you, right, because I'm not going to read it all, but it's important that we realize that there's stuff out here that our children can really make a come up on. And some of us, because it's not too late for some of us. I'm 50. I can go back and get my PhD in this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not too late for none of us, right? We all can still master something. So now, so we know the importance of the gut, what's going on down here. We're not just talking about the stomach. We're talking about the small intestine. We're talking about the large intestine. We're talking about all the stuff down in what's known as the belly. And all of those bacteria that's down there, all of those viruses that's down there, all of those microorganisms that are in us, that are forming an ecosystem within inside of us. That ecosystem is geared towards promoting our life. It can promote our life, or it can take away from our life. So now let's go to the disease part, and we're gonna speak a little plain English. First, let's look at this. Although this is microbiota and a metabolism. Well, let me make sure I ain't skipping over nothing important. Regulation of the microbiota. Nope. Host microbiota interaction. Nope. Although the immunologic interaction between the microbiota and the host have been studied in great detail for some time, it has been only recently that the true extent of the metabolic potential of the microbiota has begun to be grasped. Now, let's listen. Some of these metabolic functions were well known, such as the ability of bacterial disaccharidases to salvage unabsorbed dietary sugars, such as lactose and alcohols, and convert them into short-chain fatty acids that are then used as energy source by the colonic mucosa. The SCFAs, short-chain fatty acids, that's SCFAs, promote the growth of intestinal epithelial cells and control their proliferation and differentiation. It has also been known for some time that the enteric bacteria, that's bacteria inside us, can produce nutrients and vitamins such as folate and vitamin K. Listen, deconjugate bile salts and metabolize some medications such as sulfosylazine within the intestinal lumen, thereby releasing their active moieties. However, it is only recently that the full metabolic potential of the microbiome has come to be recognized, and the potential contribution of the microbiota to the metabolic status of the host and health and in relation to obesity and related disorders have been appreciated. The application of the genomics, metabolomics, and the transcriptomics can now reveal in immense detail the metabolic potential of a given organism. All those big words are basically saying that your microbiome is not just chilling there eating off of you, not just sitting there up in there chilling and inhabiting you. They are a cooperating force that not only help you break down things that may not be good for you, but also produce vitamins and minerals that your body need. You know what I'm saying? That is hard for your body. I mean, it's crazy. Go on, Nat. Get out of here. My God. It's also known that the certain commercial organisms also produce other chemicals, including neurotransmitters, neuromodulators. So it helps with your brain functions, which can modify other gut functions such as motility or sensations. Now, they call the gut. Now, I want y'all to think about this because I'm going to be doing more research. We're going to talk about this more. They call the gut the second brain. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Neurotransmitters, all that is in your gut. Most recently, perhaps most surprisingly, it has been proposed that the microbiota can influence the development and the function of the central nervous system, thereby leading to the concept of the microbiota gut-brain axis. The nerve that interacts between the gut and the brain is called the vagus nerve. Right? Now, your gut and how your gut is feeling influences your mind. My gut was messed up yesterday. That's why the whole day was blah. My gut is adjusted to the fact that I'm not eating blah. It's all great, right? And it's communicating this blah to my brain, and my brain all day was just swimming, right? We got to understand, family, this is real. Now, let's talk about gut microbiota and disease. And then we're gonna move into some of the other diseases that may be connected to the gut. The gut microbiota and disease. Just as we are only now beginning to understand the key role of the flora in health, it has only been in very recent years that the true extent of the consequences of disturbance in the flora. How do we disturb it? Not probiotics, antibiotics. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this food where we encourage the growth of certain things but not others. You know what I'm saying? A lot of food that's not related to our culture or our ancestral heritage. And I know a lot of y'all like, we all the same. Well, overall, we could say that we are the same, but culturally, we are not, right? Culturally, we had certain foods for certain reasons, and those foods were developed through our interaction with nature. And we was providing something for nature, and nature was providing something for us, and it was good. But then we started interfering with the shit. Alright, boom, boom, boom. Very recent, the true extent of the consequence of the disturbance in the flora or the interaction between the flora and the host has been recognized. Some of these consequences are relatively obvious. For example, when many components of the normal flora are eliminated or suppressed by a course of broad-spectrum antibiotics, the stage is set for other organisms that may be pathogenic to step in and cause disease. The classic example of this is antibiotics associated with diarrhea and its deadliest manifestation. Clostridium difficile, colitis, similar perturbations in the flora are thought to be involved in a devastating form of intestinal inflammation and inflammation that may occur in newborns and especially premature infants. Necrotizing enterocolitis. In other situations, bacteria may simply be where they should not be. If motility of the bowel is impaired, or acid secretions from the stomach is drastically reduced, an environment conducive to the proliferation of organisms in the small intestines that are normally confined to the colon results. The consequences is the syndrome of small bowel bacteria overgrowth. In other situations, the immunologic interaction between the flora and the host is disturbed, and the host may, for example, begin to recognize the constituents of the normal flora not as friend but as foe, and may mount an inappropriate inflammatory response, which some believe may ultimately lead to the conditions such as IBD, which is irritable bowel syndrome, right? Or irritable bowel disease. In other situations, damage to the intestinal epithelium renders the gut wall leaky and permits bacteria in whole or in part from the gut to gain access to the submucosal compartments or even to the systematic circulation, with the association potential to cause catastrophic sepsis or poisoning. This mechanism is thought to account for many of the infections that occur in critically ill patients in an intensive care unit, for example. Most recently, the qualitative changes in the microbiota have been invoked in the pathogenesis of global epidemics like obesity. It's epidemic. Obesity is an epidemic. It's a disease. It's not the fact that you can't stop eating. It's the fact that you got stuff in you telling you to eat. It's as the old church folk would say, you are possessed by bacteria, yeast, and viruses that are controlling you. Little demons. It has been postulated that a shift in the composition of the flora toward a population dominated by bacteria that are more avid extractors of absorbable nutrients, which are then available for assimilation by the host, could play a major role in obesity. Such studies rely on the application of modern technologies, genomics, metagenomics, metabolemics. Listen, those are fields. Those are fields. Those are fields of study that we could be pushing our children into, to the study of colonic flora, and have the potential to expose the true diversity and a metabolic profile of the microbiota and the real extent of change and disease. Rather than providing an exhaustive survey of all disease states that might be influenced by the microbiota, a brief overview of current information on the role of microbiota and a few common disease disorders will provide below. For example, inflammatory bowel disease. Let's see if they got any other on here. IBS, obesity, metabolic syndrome, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis. Alright, so we won't go in there. Let's go and look at some other ones. And then we're done, family. Modern technology. Alright. So, y'all ready? Here's some diseases that come from an unhealthy gut or can be connected. There's correlations, let's say that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, this is not a cure, this is a maintenance drink. You know what I'm saying? We got to be very clear in our language, because I don't want, you know what I'm saying? But this is why I believe that we could eliminate a lot of this stuff in our community. Autoimmune conditions. The last century has seen a rapid rise of autoimmune disease. As of now, there are around 100 recognized autoimmune conditions and about 40 other diseases that have an autoimmune component. Because 80% of your immune system resides in your gut, it is no surprise that a damaged microbiome and leaky gut syndrome is a precondition for autoimmunity. Mental health disorders. Your gut and brain are inextricably through the communication lines that are referred to as the gut-brain axis. In the medical literature, your gut is actually referred to as the second brain. Didn't I just tell y'all that? An unhealthy microbiome has been linked to mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression. Poor immune health. Should be no surprise here, but if you find yourself sick often, you'll want to know your microbiome health. Chronically low immune systems health can be largely due to a weak microbiome health, an overgrowth of opportunistic bacteria, yeast, or fungus, or a parasite. Family, the only four things we need to do, remember, four things we need is right breathing, right water, right food, right movement. Knock out all this shit. I mean, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but you don't even need ambrosia. With right breathing, I mean, you can have it because you like it. I would love for people to want to just drink it because they like it. But the fact of the matter is, you don't need it. We don't need a lot of this extra shit. All we need is breathing, proper water. Couldn't get that finger up. Proper water, proper food, proper movement. So mental health disorder. We already did that. Poor immune health. Should be no surprise here, but if you find yourself sick often, you'll want to know your microbiome health. Remember, 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Heart disease. I bet you're wondering, how does it affect your heart? A possible correlation, and I say correlation, between the microbiome and cardiovascular disease was recently found. Certain bacteria produce higher levels of TMO, trimethylene N oxide, which is linked to a higher risk of heart attack and stroke. It's still unclear which microorganism produces more TMAO, but researchers are hoping that in the future, manipulation of microbiome species can help in the prevention and treatment of heart disease. Now, a whole nother field of medicine that's coming out is people that's dealing with this microbiome, right? This flora, learning about it, learning how to, because right now they're experimenting with transferring from a healthy person's microbiome to another person's microbiome. Now, the microbiome is so dope is that it's almost each individual's microbiome is unique. So it's sort of like a fingerprint. So not only can I know you by your fingerprints, I can know you by your microbiome. So pretty soon they're going to start collecting samples of microbiome so that they can identify you. You know what I'm saying? You might shit at a crime scene, so they'll just look at the shit and be able to identify you. Your microbiome prints are all over this. Why did you murder him and shit at his house? Type 2 diabetes. This chronic degenerative disease recently been linked to microbiome disturbance. One study found that transplanting a microbiome of diabetic mice into healthy mice made it diabetic as well. So, now, they starting to transplant microbiomes. I need to be looking out for that. Type 2 diabetes, family. Major condition in our community. Heart disease, major condition. Poor immune system, major condition. Mental health. Let me read mental health again. Your gut and brain are inextricably through the communication lines that are referred to as the gut and brain axis. In medical literature, your gut is actually referred to as the second brain. So family, if our gut is not right, if our gut is not humming along, if it's not in tune with our ancestors, if it's not in tune with our cultural foods, if it's not in tune and the microbiome is out, you are insane. Right? You are not operating. Your operating system is operating at probably 30% of what it could be operating with. Just with the Ngusa Saba Challenge, I'm telling you, I'm changing lives in 21 days. Just in 21 days. People that apply themselves, we're able to change lives. Listen, type 2 diabetes, skin conditions, weight gain and obesity, acid reflux, cancer, constipation or diarrhea, asthma and chronic sinus infections. Those are the diseases. Let me read the list one more time. And I'm not going to read through it. Autoimmune conditions, right? Crohn's disease, IBD, right? All the other ones. Y'all can name them. Some of y'all got them. Mental health disorders. We see this in the hood. All you got to do is get on Facebook. Some of the people that friend you on Facebook are insane. Some of the shit they posting, you wonder what mind state are they? They in the bad gut mind state. Poor immune health. Motherfuckers that get sick all the time. Heart disease. Type 2 diabetes, and you bet not cut off on me again. Type 2 diabetes. Skin conditions. Weight gain and obesity. Acid reflux. Cancer. Constipation or diarrhea. Asthma and chronic sinus infections. Welcome to the age of the microbiome. Some have predicted that this year will be the year of the microbiome. Over the coming years, as we continue to learn more about the microbiome, I suspect this might become the decade of the microbiome. Now, I'm getting some more literature on this. I'm going to be reading some books on this. Between the breathing and getting the microbiome together, we got our hands full. So family, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm sorry for running over, but y'all know I get excited about certain things, and I want to make sure that you're getting the concept. I don't want to come down on you hard, but we have to make some adjustments. We have to start detoxing. We have to start eating better. We have to start moving in order for us to build. The first thing we have to build is ourselves. So I'm going to add an adage to our ancestors. They used to tell us to know ourselves. I'm going to say know yourself and rebuild yourself. Right? Know and start to rebuild yourself. I got nation builders around me that's not healthy. Right? And I'm working on getting them. Not trying to be preachy with it, not trying to be judgmental with it, but I need my brothers to be with me. I need my sisters to be with me. I need for us to have long lives. I need for us to, I need for the toast when we say, I wish you peace, power, joy for 100 years. I want it to really ring. I want it to ring like that sound right there. Right? I want y'all. I want us to have 100 years. Well, I want us to be able to decide, damn, I'm tired of life. I'm just going to cash out. Not do this, but just be like, boom, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because there comes a point in your development after meditation, after pushing your body, after getting to know your body, after getting in tune with your body, that you're able to leave your body. I know I'm going to talk about that, but that's later on down the line. There has been cases where individuals have basically decided that they had enough of this life and just left. That's dope. That's dope. And I want every last one of you in G and J, you know what I'm saying, that's watching. Isn't that a nice way to go? Where you be like, look, I done did everything in life. Say goodbye to your husband or your wife. Say goodbye to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Have your last cup of coffee with your friends. Be like, yo, I'm getting up out of here. And just lay down. That's how I want to go. Alright, this is Brother Tim, and I'm out. Thank you for watching the video. I want you to subscribe. Click the bird right
Peace, family. Yo, thank you for joining us. Right? And I'm thrilled to announce the fact that we are now releasing our first free e-course. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame journey. See some of the stuff we do. Come and join the tribe. Tribe up with us and check out the free e-course. We'll make sure that the URL pop up right about here. And it'll probably be somewhere in here. Check us out, family, because we are building. Come and learn about Gye-Nyame journey. And let's build together.
All right, family. I want to thank y'all for joining us today, man. Listen, great Ujuma to each and every last one of you. And thank you for checking out what we doing here at Gye-Nyame Journey. Like I said, get on that free e-course. You can become a supporter. Go to G&J. That's gnjmedia.support. gnjmedia.support. Matter of fact, there you go right there. That's gnjmedia.support. gnjmedia.support. Family, this is Brother Hatim, and we are out.